creating the world we're now living in. We are competing in. We are repeating in. We are believing in. It's time for us to shift our mind from best in the world to best for the world. Make decisions intentional, to take decisions intentional, making decisions intentional. Make decisions intentional, to take decisions intentional, making decisions intentional. It creates a new world to mind a shift, intentionality, perceptuality, conceptuality. We are choosing to shift our mind to best for the world, best for our world. Make decisions intentional, to take decisions intentional, making decisions intentional. Make decisions intentional, to take decisions intentional, making decisions intentional.
Thanks.
Okay, we're live. Hi, I'm Christina, and sorry?
Yeah, that's the camera.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
Warm welcome to our coffee table talk today. We're going to address a big question for a lot of small business owners today. They're struggling, they are feeling panic, and we need to change their mindset. And with us here today, we have some guests. Stellan Nordahl.
Yes, I'm very glad to be here in the sofa together with you, Christina. And I believe that when we face a crisis, everything is put on a it's really on the edge of what we have been trained for. So maybe we can conclude that we have trained for something that we are not well equipped for situations like this. So today I hope we can find ways forward, and the question we have is, can Givers Gain be a way forward? That is very interesting, I guess.
That's a very interesting question. And to answer that questions eventually, we have Isabella here from BNI Business Network International.
Yes, so nice to be here.
You're welcome, very welcome. Do you have some thoughts?
Yes, of course. BNI, we have this mindset of Givers Gain all the time. So I worked for 8 years with BNI. So for 8 years I've trained myself and people around me to think Givers Gain. Yes.
Very good. Thank you. And we also have another guest here, Erik Nilsson. Welcome.
Thank you.
And tell us a little bit about you.
Well, I'm a BNI member here in Luma, where we are now, and I do strongly believe that the Givers Gain program and the mindset of Givers Gain is a thing that really can boost your business if you give and have that as your primary focus. Then you will really gain in your business.
Absolutely. And that comes naturally for you and for Isabella and for Stellan. But a lot of people out there don't know how to begin to do Givers Gain. The thought of giving something away and not having something back. But we'll come back to that. So today's journey starts with how can we contribute and find ideas and share knowledge for small business owners around the world. So I have a first question for you all. How can we change our mindset as business owners to see beyond the panic, the fear and anxiety we are experiencing right now? What do you say?
Well, actually I had this discussion yesterday with Sophie Persson. She's a brilliant woman, and she said that it's very important for companies to to think about what does our customers or even what does the society around us need at the moment, and to look at that instead of look at this is our product and we're that's what we're good at, and why don't anybody buy it anymore and panic over that. So to look beyond that and focus on what can we do now instead. What does the people need?
Yeah. So listen with big ears.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've also been thinking a lot about what can you do, and one thing is to formulate what you need help with, because if you ask people who wants to give or wants to help, I think there are a lot of people who say I want to help and I want to engage, but if we don't know what is needed, then it's almost a problem to give if no one will receive. So just by formulating what I need help with would be of great impact on helping others.
Absolutely. And how can we manage to do that, and what platform can we use to share? Do you have any ideas?
Well, I'm a big fan of the personal meeting with people interacting with each other. So I would suggest to go to those that you trust, that you feel like you have a bond already, and tell them that at the moment I'm struggling. It's hard for me. And I don't know if my business will survive. Please, I need your thoughts. I need your opinions. Please help me to take me out of this panic box that I'm in, and really ask for help.
Ask for help.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good. Erik, what do you say? How can we change our mindset?
Well, I think that the important thing in my mindset is that I want to see all my fellow people out there that I interact with as potential partners and people that I can collaborate with, instead of seeing them as competitors. I think that's a very big step in collaborating and working together.
So ask for help, be listening to what needs there are out there. Okay.
I'm also thinking of when we look at someone that is doing approximately the same as I do, very often people see them as competitors, as you said, not to compete. And what are your thoughts about how we can change that from being a problem as a competitor to being a collaborator, as you say, a colleague, more or less? Any of you have been thinking of it, I guess? Any ideas?
How we can invite people to
Yeah, instead of, I mean, if someone comes into this room doing exactly the same as I do, either I could say, oh no, we are competitors, or oh, exciting, what can we do together?
Yeah.
That's my approach, but I'm thinking of how can we do this in our businesses? Have you any thoughts of that, Isabella or Erik?
Well, I think it's a mindset, and you need to train, because most of us have been trained to hold tight on what you have and protect it, and you know, it's just to start with a new mindset. Try, and then you will develop these skills to think giver's gain, and to think collaboration instead of being the enemies and competitors.
How often do you train? You say you're talking about training. How often do you train this? In day-to-day basis?
No, that's a tough question, actually. I try to train when I meet companies that could be competitors to more ask them, be interested, see everyone as a friend instead. But it's easier to train when I actually meet the people that in others' opinion we are competitors. But yeah, so that's when I train, when I meet them. So yeah.
We can do a short exercise, I would say. Cross your arms, both of you, and then do the other way.
Once more. What do you say? First this.
Cross your arms as you used to do, and then do the other way.
Well, that was a tricky.
Is this some kind of an IQ test? Because then I failed.
Because
how did you do that?
I think
exactly, and when you trained a lot, it comes easy.
Yeah.
Wow.
So what we need to do as small business owners is to train.
Yes.
To try things differently.
Yeah.
And the first time you do it, it feels
very
panicking,
odd.
you know. And when you've done it a couple of times, you feel comfortable.
Yeah.
So you really need to train to do, to open up, ask questions. How can I help you? What do you need from me in this new paradigm as we're facing? I would say. Have you seen any patterns on the market today? People doing business in another way?
I can try to answer it. I would say, as I've seen Give Us Gain being practiced for quite a while, I've seen businesses also thrive from that perspective, but not everyone, and that is not an what do you call it, contradiction to that it works, because it's more like maybe it's not the right thing for every person or every situation, but I would say probably it's more right than it's wrong. And maybe it's better to have it as a first rule rather than the second or third, or even maybe not even look at it. So instead of choosing competition, maybe choosing together or cooperation or co-creation, or how far you can go on that scale varies from your situation and from who you are and the context and so on. But I would say, I mean, BNI have been existing for more than 30 years, and in Sweden for at least 20.
21. Yes.
21, yeah. So, I mean, those are thought systems which I would say can be used in more than in business. It could be in school, it could be in everywhere in society.
Parenting.
Parenting, definitely.
That's a good example.
That's a good example, and parenting is probably the hardest leadership issue you ever face.
Yes.
Exactly, and you welcome visitors to your BNI chapters.
Yes. Yes.
So you can actually train there.
Yes.
See how it's done.
Yes, and I see some people. I can see that they don't understand what is going on with people not selling to each other, but trying to help each other. This is brand new, and it's very fantastic to see when a visitor visits the first time at BNI and gets this, what? Does it exist? It's so amazing, I think. Yeah,
absolutely. So how do I do if I want to come and visit you? Oh, sorry.
Well, here in Sweden, it's bni.nu, and then you find your city and find a chapter that you want to visit. And in every country there are BNI chapters. So find your local BNI. Or now we are online because of the situation. So today, this morning, I had a visitor actually from Gothenburg visiting my chapter in Lund. Because we are online, so there are no distance problems anymore.
Very good. Very nice.
Yeah, and I believe a lot of things that are happening right now makes us. I mean, if someone was a little bit curious before, this is not the case any longer. You have to go digital, and I mean, I don't know how it's in the rest of the world, but in Sweden a couple of weeks ago they started to talk about social distancing, which was a quite an odd way of putting out physical distancing, which is not social distancing, or not. It's not equal to not doing business or meeting people, or but you can do it online. And BNI I would say they were very quick in responding and also taking this as an opportunity to go online. So I've also been in meetings with 20 people or 30 people, so on, the last week. So it definitely works out well, I would say.
Yes,
So instead of cancelling meetings, you can ask for another option to meet digitally.
Yeah,
instead.
definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, already when I was a kid, the telephone existed. So
That's
definitely, it will probably be now when everything is actually set for a new paradigm, both in business and in the rest of the world.
Absolutely. Have you seen any trends on the market? I was out looking yesterday and see how can we change doing business instead of stop going out to restaurants and eat. How can we solve that? Well, you can subscribe for lunch and they will deliver it home. So you can help small business owners that way.
yes.
Yeah, and I've also seen business coaches now. Maybe they have prepared for online business for many years, but maybe haven't got the right opportunity. I would say this is the opportunity. So seize the opportunity and create digital stuff. And meet with people from all around. I mean, you have from Gothenburg. I would say it will be very interesting when we have someone from
China.
Yeah. Definitely.
Japan.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That will be
All over the
extremely
world.
interesting.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And that's what I mean. So if you want to get new connections wherever in the world, this is the time.
This is the time.
Yes.
Really, it's time to act, guys.
Yes.
So take the opportunity.
Yeah, and I would say also right now everyone is not maybe everyone, but most of the people are new beginners in digital meeting rooms and so on. So it's not odd not being trained for this fully. It's more like taking the opportunity to become trained for it.
That's a business opportunity for those who can,
Definitely.
to teach all the rest of us how to do it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and there's so many ways to interact. So so helping out and ask other people how can I help, but also formulate what you need help with will be extremely important, I guess.
Yes. And you have to be brave actually to do that.
You have to be at least brave for a while, up until you realize that it's could be your new normal.
Yes.
I mean, if we call something business as usual, for a while we have to do business as unusual. But when we've done it for a while, it becomes business as usual.
Yeah.
That's a good
course.
thing.
So
We have to train to do that. Absolutely. So instead of going on vacation, we can have a virtual reality vacation.
Yes.
As a business. Concerts, live streaming. Look at the concert from your sofa at home. Why not? Malmö Opera here in Sweden are sending every lunch live stream with an opera singer. Really, really nice. And we see a lot of those things today. People are sharing. So it opens up for new businesses
Yes.
with sharing.
Yes.
yeah, it definitely does. And I also believe that we, how can I say it? I would say after doing some of this stuff, whatever it is, we won't go back to what we had before. Then that will become business as unusual. So hopefully we'll find a way forward here.
So we're looking forward to see more tips and ideas from you guys. So don't hesitate to send in your own tips and ideas, and we will make sure to share them around the world, right?
Of course.
Of course. Anything else we can...
No, I don't know if we have someone on the line. Yes, I think we have Leif Alvgard or maybe Christian Rönne. Who is it we're speaking to?
Hi, this is Christian Rönne speaking.
This is
Hey.
Christian Rönne speaking. Hi, Christian. Welcome. Most welcome to
Hey guys.
the show. And for you who are listening, you don't see any difference. For you who are watching the YouTube stream, we have Christian Rönne in by telephone, and
He's a graphic recorder, right?
Yes, that is correct, among other things.
Yes, you're a multi-channel person, I would say. So what are your thoughts, Christian, this new paradigm we're in? How are things for you?
Well, I think somehow there is starting to become a day, a stability in the day. So things are returning a little bit to normal, if there is such a thing in this time for me. But basically, I'm a small business person, and my business has overnight more or less been wiped out, since I live by meeting people and drawing at conferences and working closely within workshops and things like this. And as you probably imagine, this is not happening currently. So my business is under a challenge right now, but I'm also doing a lot of work digital right now. So helping businesses come online, and that's very exciting.
Yeah, good, Christian. That's very good. So what's your trend spotting? How can we teach people how to have another mindset?
That's a good question. I think we need to acknowledge that we are where we are, and that the life we knew from a couple of weeks ago is probably not gonna come back. And it's a new way of doing business and meetings, for better or worse. I don't know, but I think there are a lot of opportunities that open up. I heard you guys speaking about BNI and meeting people online that haven't been there before. I think this whole new way of forcing people onto the digital platform and looking at each other through a digital media will also open up for a lot of new possibilities that we've known about or thought about, but now we're forced out into trying them out. So a lot of things will develop over the coming weeks and months within this media of going digital. And some are cautious, and some of us are just jumping on board and fumbling and stumbling and making all kinds of mistakes.
Yeah.
And I have a question for you, Christian, because I also believe that it's our choices that we make that form this. So what would you say in your life, in your business, what is your most important choice or choices right now?
I've been observing a lot. I have been honestly, I've been scared. I've been, trying to figure out what's going on, and found out that everything is changing all the time. So I can't just sit back and observe anymore. So I've moved from observing to just throwing myself out there and doing things, even though I'm not, fully skilled at it or fully prepared. I, for example, had a webinar yesterday for 30 people, telling them about how to get online and work with different tools, which is scary, but it worked. Obviously, there are things that I would have wanted to do better, but I think today's challenge is just doing something instead of waiting for a solution to appear. I don't know if that makes sense.
Definitely it makes sense, and being afraid is a response, and you can do that for a while, and then you have to make
Yeah, because I think there are a lot of opportunities out there, and also there are a lot of people that are sick from this, but that are not infected or affected. I mean, they're sick at home or whatever, but as soon as they're well, they have a possibility to go out in the community because now they're sort of immune, right? So now they can go out and do stuff that people who are afraid can't, which is a fantastic opportunity. So I mean, they can help out in different ways that I can't, for example, because I have to be cautious about crowds and things like that. But people that have recovered from the sickness, they can go out and do things that can actually benefit themselves, but also the community in a big way.
Thank you very much, Christian. I think we will have to say goodbye to you for now. Thanks for the tips. And we also have a new person in the room. So if you just hang up there, Christian, and take care.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Bye.
Bye bye.
And we will have a telephone call also in a second or two. Maybe we can check with our
Hallå, hallå? Hallå?
Hi, can you hear us?
Lisa?
Can you hear us?
Ja,
Hello? Do you hear us?
Leif here.
Are you there?
Yes.
Great. Leif,
Yeah.
right, and again, for you who are following us on the radio, you probably just hear a new voice. This is Leif Algard, right? And you are part of Emprogage.
I heard you very, very bad. Wait a little.
Rearranging. Is it done like that?
Do you hear me now?
Yes, we hear you perfectly clear, Leif.
Very good.
You're part of Emprogage. It's if we translate that, the R businesses and R stands for something. What is the R standing for?
What it is an ethics mark. How do you give companies an identity? How they function, where they when they do with ethics, and how they have the company. So it's identity, how they function like companies.
And I realized that you also have in this license a broad network of companies. How many companies are engaged in Sweden today in this?
Maybe 250 companies in the country.
And when you talk about
it's not so many, but it's
yeah, but that's quite many for a small country. That's
yeah.
And
Yeah.
when you talk about ethical framework, ethical, what do you mean? How does that apply on the business and the business owners?
We have an ethic policy, 7 points, 7 things they must live after. It's very necessary if they want to have ethics quality. They must live after them, and it's not so many, but it's very, very important to live after these policies, ethic policies they have.
And when you say ethical policies, could you give us one example, for instance?
Yeah, we say like our licenses. If you have our licenses, you must be professional and correct in everything you do, and you must tell everybody the truth. Don't lie. You must be very open and transparent what you are doing, and you must give the customers and co-workers very clear what you stand for, and and so on. So it's very clear what you shall do, and after that we take a check on this if they live after these policies. So we will give them very clear sight how they shall do.
And this is a national in Sweden network, right? Have you tried?
Yes, it's only in Sweden, yes, but we see if we can get in other countries too in the future. We hope that.
Yeah. How do you share knowledge within the group? Do you have meetings?
How they have it if you take a look at ethic policy in license.se, you have the ethic policy there, and they have it when they have business with other companies. They show the ethic policy and they can discuss about that. If they have some values, and it's a very, very good thing to use when
Maybe we lost.
very good discuss about that.
Okay, super. You're back again. You almost lost you there, Leif. We will round off here, but giving some inspiration to companies out there. How, if they are interested, they can of course check the Swedish system, and I also believe that there is an international, at least in the US, it's called B Corps. I know you and I, Leif, have talked about this before, and so if you will give one advice to a business owner on a way forward from here on to the future, what would that be, Leif?
Advice in the future.
Yeah, advice for a business owner or a business right now where we are to create the future. What would you say is your advice for next step?
If we have many people, many companies, they have different values, and they have everything of that. But we think we say if you don't have ethics rules in the bottom of your company, you have not so good future, because we think it's very necessary to have work with these values more than ever. If we will see a world where we can take care of each other, we cannot only see what we make in money or everything else. So my advice is to have a very focus on this ethics values in the company in the future. So it will come stronger and stronger in our society, and it's very important to think about that. If you will have a company in the future, the ethics policy is very necessary.
Really good, Leif. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for calling in. And
Thank you.
Up, and thanks again, and take care in those times and always. Of course.
Oh, thank you. Bye bye.
So what we talked about today can sum up with one question, actually, that we all can phrase to each other. How can I help you, and what do you need?
I would say that's a very good start. And we will hopefully now, when we say goodbye to you for now, maybe you come back later and during those 4 days. If you want the whole schedule, it's on bestphoto.world, and we're streaming live both on the web radio on that website and on YouTube. Just search for Best Photo World. And I suggest we end this program by sending out this jingle again. So let that be the theme for the weekend. Let's work for what is best for the world. Thank you very much for listening, and thank you very much for a nice program.
And you too. Thank you.
Take care.
Take care.
Bye.
shift our mind from best in the world to best for the world. Make decisions intentional, to take decisions intentional, making decisions intentional. Make decisions intentional, to take decisions intentional, making decisions intentional. It creates a new world to mind a shift, intentionality, perceptuality, conceptuality. We are choosing to shift our mind to best for the world, best for our world. Make decisions intentional, to take decisions intentional, making decisions intentional. Make decisions intentional, to take decisions intentional, making decisions intentional.